Okay, what's up guys? Welcome to the first Tetons episode. So I finally made it. It is end of September. I'm gonna be here for a week. I started getting set up and then I just noticed, so I'm at the Grovant campground right now. And just the campsite right across from me, I just noticed there's a badger. So I think the wildlife party is gonna kick off sooner than I anticipated. Just gotta make sure my image stabilizer's on this time. All right, so I'm gonna go try to shoot a badger in the face for a minute before everybody shows up. And it's, let's see, it's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're gonna set up camp, finish setting up camp, and then probably have some lunch. And I'm gonna start driving around and get straight to it. The river's back that way. First thing I want to do is look for good dipper spots because, you know, dippers are awesome. There's also should be hopefully some moose back here somewhere. That's what a moose jam looks like. So dinner was successful, badger hunt not successful, but now we're in a moose traffic jam. There is a moose right there in those trees. So I got 500 mil 1.4 tele and I'm in crop mode, 1100 millimeters, and he's still not super close. And the sun just went down, so we'll see what happens. Well, he took off, sun went down, everybody left, and then I stuck around for a minute and I got him at least walking up. I did get this one maybe cool shot with the tree and kind of him silhouetted. I don't know, if it works out, I'll put it up. If not, then just disregard that entire statement. Then I was trying to shoot the Teton behind me with the 700, and believe it or not, 700 might be a little bit long for landscape. So maybe I'll, actually, you know what? I've got the 70-200 in the car. I think I'm gonna grab that and grab a shot of the Tetons for the last light. And I think that's it for this evening. So bright and early for tomorrow morning. I think we'll probably go look for moose and elk in the morning first. So we'll see what happens. All right, first technical morning here. Got some good moose last night. Well, not good, but got some moose last night. Now we've got some elk over here in this field. You can see the Tetons behind me there. They're kind of a ways out though, but it's all I've seen. I've been driving around for like an hour and it's not even sunrise yet. And this is the first anything I've seen, so we're gonna go check it out. Well, that trip definitely went differently than I expected, but not necessarily in a bad way. So I'm back. That was a couple weeks ago. It's now mid-October, and I've just been going through a lot of footage and a couple of things, a couple of problems that arose. They're completely my generated problems, but now editing Brent is stuck dealing with them. A couple of those problems were I shot a lot of B-roll footage, because I was definitely focusing on video and I wanted to get like really good like wildlife video content, but the downside is I didn't focus on vlogging that much and I didn't actually vlog like enough, I think, for a better quality video. And yeah, I make excuses a lot when camera lady's not around because I have become very accustomed to her filming all of my videos for me. And I'm definitely a spoiled, like petulant child YouTuber if I have to actually do any work myself. However, that was the case here. Camera lady did not come. She had other photo work that she had to do for her photo business. And so that was a big bummer. And I joke about that, but in all seriousness, it wasn't just the fact that she wasn't here to film the vlog for me because, you guys know, like I'm perfectly capable of filming myself if I need to. The biggest reason was that when I got there, this was a trip that my friend Darren and I had planned for a while. And then I put out a meetup time for like to meet up with some people publicly from, of you guys, from the channel subscribers. And that was just amazing. And it was spread out through like 2 weeks. I met some of you guys in Colorado. I met some of you guys at the Tetons. I camped with a couple of you. That was amazing. Getting to meet everybody was phenomenal. And then just hanging out with my friends and then all of the new friends that I met out there. Big shout out to Alan and Cindy and Jay. It was just amazing all around. And I just found myself like every time I thought about I should be vlogging this, a part of me was like, nah, you shouldn't. And I don't know if that's just like a cop-out laziness excuse or if that was just me. I don't have very many friends, and I have even fewer friends who are actually into the same thing as me, especially wildlife and landscape photography. So to be with a group of you guys and just constantly meeting people who are sharing that passion and we're out there, I had a really hard time finding the motivation to film. But seriously, I had an amazing time. The last stuff that you guys saw for this video was just like the first day and a half, 2 days. I'm gonna try really hard to figure out how to like piece together 1 or 2 more episodes. Let's jump into the computer real quick, and I want to show you just a couple of very quick edits on some of these elk shots that I really like, just so you can kind of get a feel for. Again, this is all the elk. The elk images are from all of my images from this trip are from the R5 Mark II. So we take a look at some of those. They're almost all shot at very high ISO, including these elk. So let's just jump in there and see, like, just give you an idea. It's not a full-blown tutorial, just give you an idea of what it's looking like and how the images are coming out. All right, so let's take a look at this guy first. We're gonna go from this to this. So let's see what we're working with here. ISO 10,000. We are nice and sharp, which is surprising because it was well before sunrise. And if you'll notice here, we're at 500 millimeters f4, 1/160th of a second, and we're still at ISO 10,000. Needless to say, it was dark. So the first thing I'm going to do is definitely, let's just go ahead and denoise this. So you can see what the zoomed in color noise and luminance noise is looking like. And then with the denoising at 45%, I don't really like to take it much higher than that because it's really going to start making things mushy. But I think that's a pretty good job. So we'll go with 45 there. Okay, so here is the denoised image, and it's still got some noise, but it's nice looking now. Now it's like proper. So this image is a little bit flat, and the color's a little off. So the first thing I want to do is throw a quick preset on here, one of my fall presets. And this isn't a plug, this is just literally what I want. And if you want to be able to do that, it's really easy. You just tweak your stuff, and then you go into the presets and hit save preset, and then you got your own presets. But if you want mine, you can certainly buy them. So the presets are just a base start, you know, like I usually don't have a one click and done. So from there, I just want to tweak it a little bit more, get it how I want it, and then we'll take it into Photoshop. Okay, so I've already done some editing to this, and I'm not going to re-edit, so I'm just going to show you what I did. The first thing I did was I took it into Luminar Neo and I sharpened it. Now, again, this isn't sponsored. Luminar is just what I have, and it's what I use. I don't have Topaz or anything like that, and Luminar AI sharpening works really well. So what I did for the Luminar sharpening is I just made a stamp visible layer and then bring that in. So let's zoom in here a little bit. Okay, so here's the sharpened layer, here's the unsharpened layer. So it didn't add a whole lot because I don't want it to look ridiculous. I just want to put some of that detail back in there. And you can definitely see in his fur there and his little neck scarf, and his eyes and the antlers and all that stuff. So that's all I wanted. Then I just made a mask and selected it. Then I just selected the subject and made a mask. That way the only thing that's being sharpened is the subject. So now we just have the elk being sharpened, and that's it. So the next thing I did is I brought it back into Camera Raw and I tweaked a bunch more. So I darkened the background, I made a vignette, I did a noise reduction on the background. So now if we look in here, if we look in like this area, you can see a little bit of noise there still in the background, but I kept all that noise on him because I don't want it to look like a painting. So, and that just made it a little more moody. And then mess with a little bit of curves, just nice and subtle, just a little bit darker on the background. And then a super tiny color tweak for tint, and then that's it. That's my final guy. So it's a similar process for this guy. You can look here, this is ISO 8000, 3/20th of a second. I wanted it a little bit faster because he was walking. I got his breath there. And I did the exact same procedure basically that we just went through with this, and then here's this one. But I didn't want to crop in because this guy was super far away, so I didn't want to crop in too much. So I did crop in a little bit, but not too much because it just would have degraded so fast. But I do still like this image, even though I would have liked to have been closer. I think it came out pretty nice. Same deal here, except this, I did have my teleconverter on, so I'm at 5.6, 500th of a second because there was a little more action, and 5000 ISO. But again, using the same process, a little preset, little camera raw tweakings, a little luminar sharpening, and then a little more camera raw tweaking, and we go from here to here. These were definitely the best sparring elk that I got to see on the whole trip. I didn't get any closer. I saw another pair sparring a couple of days later, like super far away. So we'll have to take it with that. It's not the best shot in the world. I would have liked a lower angle. I would have liked their heads up with this dark background or something. I would have liked to be a little bit closer and not have to use my teleconverter. A lot of would likes with wildlife, but you know, that's how it goes. Then we got this guy in the fog. This was probably the hardest one to shoot because this fog was just so bad. So here is the absolute raw. And I mean, he was just, it was so thick. I had to manual focus. So manual focusing. And because of the fog being so thick, I mean, he may or may not have actually been in focus, but that was as close as I could get it. So then cleaned it up in camera raw a little bit, denoised it. A little more dehaze. I don't want to go crazy on the dehaze because I do want it to look like he's in the fog, which he is, but I also wanted to see him. So then we're just cleaning some things up right there. And then we got a sharpening on him. And then I was just feeling crazy and did a whole moody vibe there with a pretty heavy vignette. And that may or may be too much, but you know, I'm okay with it. Okay, well that's it. Just a quick little look at the editing there. I mainly just wanted to showcase like how hard I pushed them and like what it really looked like, how ridiculous those scenarios were with them being quite far away, even for 500 and 700 millimeters, how dark it was outside, my slow shutter speeds, all of that has to come together to get something usable. And then coupling that with some good techniques for editing, I think that I'm able to come away with some decent images. So these are just the start of the images. I definitely got some better elk that we're going to save for the next episode, I believe. Which I'm definitely looking forward to because the elk from the next episode, wow. But hopefully that gives you a slight little good insight into my creative process for just how I'm getting these images, how I'm making these images. Hopefully you enjoyed the footage. Filming wildlife, I will definitely say, is quite difficult, and I am certainly trying my best in less than ideal conditions. Okay, and then last thing, sign up for the newsletter if you want info on workshops and all that. I did already put out a newsletter showcasing some of these images. Get some info on my workshops and sneak peeks into things, you know, that kind of stuff. Just go to my website, newsletter should pop up. You can sign up there. While you're at the website, you can definitely check out my workshops. If you want to join me on stuff like this, I don't have anything in the Tetons, but I do have some really cool stuff for birding and landscape coming up for Scotland, May of 2025. That's going to be incredible. It will be my third year running this now in Scotland, and the puffins, the seabirds, it's just magical. There's a couple spots left for that, so you can check out that stuff on the website. Also, private workshops for Bosque, for New Mexico, winter birding, really great stuff. I've got a few left for that, December, January, and a couple in literally like 2 or 3 days in February I have left. February booked up faster than the rest of the months, which was surprising. All right, that's it. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Thanks for everyone who came out and met up with me during this whole couple of weeks on the road. It was amazing to meet all you guys. Hit that like button for me, subscribe if you haven't already. It's the easiest and best thing you can do for the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.